feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. Who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah. I'm changing who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving, you can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again. No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great. I know it feels like things get in your way. Push through those walls and the others will fall. Sit up, stand tall, you can get through it all. I need some energy, anxiety's no friend to me. I have a short memory, I don't really remember things. That's how I move on, that's how I stay strong. A new day's on, I'll keep moving right along. And I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past. You gotta take off the cast. I wanna feel like I'm a new person. I wanna have clear vision and purpose. And I feel like the pain shouldn't last. If you can move on and past the things that make you feel bad, and you can change in your brain, I'm certain. I've done it before, and man, I'm not perfect. I'm changing who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win at life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do, that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode, and we are gonna call this the Daily Degen. We're trying it out today. We're gonna see how it goes. Thumbnail's been updated, so that could be what we roll with from here on out. We'll see what the response is with you guys. I'm just kind of feeling my way through this. We're gonna find what resonates with the people, but that being said, this is your home for some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. Bitcoin currently sitting with flirting with 104,000, and the markets are closed. TradeFly markets are closed. Now crypto markets are always open 24/7, baby. That thing is always spinning. This is why we love it, and this is why we cover it every day. But that being said, I'm gonna go over to the chat and say what's up to you guys, because y'all know this is why I do it. It's all love in the chat. I got my fam Bam in here. You know it. Of course, I got my dude HRJ Trading in the house. He's one of my paid analysts, and he is dropping those fire setups in the Discord. So get on over there and check him out. We got Crypto Chef in the house. What is up to you, brother? He is he's becoming an avid watcher. He's in the Discord. He's dropping some TA himself. He's dropping a little bit of alpha there. Love to see it. Thank you for being there, man. Much appreciate it. And let's keep this going. Of course, we got Alexandra G in the house, the best mod in the entire space. What's up, lovely lady? Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do. And of course, Crypto Chef is dropping 2 likes. All right, so he logged into the alternate. He's smashing that like button twice. If y'all can give me some love, I would appreciate it. It does help us grow, and it helps people getting in here into the chat, into watching the video, all that. You know, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you. All right, so keeping it going. BC Port Corp, what's up to you, dude? Yep. He said it's a holiday. It is a holiday. I'm not gonna lie to you. Until I woke up this morning and watched my dude Alex O, because when I am up, I do like to check him out. I forgot it was even a holiday, to be real with you. It didn't really have any impact on my life besides the markets are closed. So there is that. 8 Ace, my dude, what's up to you, man? Looks like he's in a short right now, looking good, up 42%. Congrats to you, keeping it going here. Jesse Galuk, ayo, what's up to you, man? Thank you for being here as well. Doug Locke, what up to you? Good morning. Who else we got? Of course, we got Username in the house. He's always around. What's up to you, dude? Thank you for being here as always. Albert, what up to you? Good morning. TradeFly and fam, my dude. Thank you for being here as always. All right, scrolling it down a little bit more. Let's see who else we got. Looks like BC Port Corp is cooking something up. Cooking something up. There might be a change to the showtime. We'll see. I guess we'll stand by for that. Mike Play, what up to you, man? Sup, fam? How you doing? Jesse Galuk, Daily DJing for the win. I'm just saying, it's what we do here every day. We do an episode, or I'll say a segment called the Daily DJing. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see if this sticks here. But you know, it's always a little bit of fun. It's kind of become a little bit of a calling card for the show here. People are starting to pick up on it. We've even had Alex do it one time. I don't know if he'll ever do it again. He was not too pleased with the turnout there. But that being said, you know, it's been a staple. It has been a staple of the show for quite some time, going all the way back to the crypto nightcap. Yes, that was a thing. The crypto nightcap. I do miss it. FD, my guy, we're gonna get you on, no doubt about it. All right. Scrolling it down a little bit more, looks like Stream Elements bot is rolling. Okay, cool. Where did my fart command go? I have no idea, man. I have not touched the Stream Elements bot at all. And Kelly Kell sneaking in there at the end, but I think I got everybody. If I didn't, you know how to roll. Go ahead, shout me out in the chat, and we will keep this thing moving. All right. I love the crypto nightcap. I know. I miss the crypto nightcap. I miss FD. FD is a super cool dude. I actually got to hang out with him a little bit out in Vegas for the Bitcoin conference. Super good dude, super chill, just as you would expect, man. No big surprise with FD. He's super cool. All right, let's go ahead and look at the chart. We're just going to do a little bit of a top down, right? Not a whole lot has changed since yesterday. We do have a liquidity level that's building up at about 108,400. We'll look at that when we get to liquidation heat map. But that, you know, that is where liquidity is sitting. Why? Price action's working its way down. As price action works its way down, so your stop losses kind of pull this liquidity level down. Now, what I would like to see is it come a little bit closer to this value area high, and then we could be talking about a trade setup as liquidity continues to slide down. If the price action continues to work its way down on the 4 hour, you are seeing that you have all of your resistance to the top side of Bitcoin right now, moving averages galore, and now you are actually seeing the 50 start to bend over and cross over the 200 on the 4 hour, right? So you're getting that crossover. You are starting to see, you know, basically price action is losing a little bit of steam. One thing I want to point out to you guys, though, from a very like zoomed out perspective, is there's an argument to be made that there is a little bit of a head and shoulders forming. I think we're gonna have to change that color and make it pop a little bit more. Let me go back here and change this one yellow. All right, now let's keep it going here. So a little bit of a head and shoulders. Now, the thing that I don't like about this, and you guys have heard me talk about it before, you know, and I'll just say, you know, from experience or my observation, I won't say from experience, I'll say from my observation when I do pay attention to head and shoulders, the thing that I don't want to see is this shoulder drooping below this shoulder right here. Usually, just from my observation, sometimes, I'll say sometimes, that is a bad, that's a bad look. All right, you don't want to see, you know, us going up, having that nice little move up, and then just completely losing steam, right? Just that droopy shoulder. Not ideal if you're looking for head and shoulders, and if you're actually looking for this to come to fruition and play out. Where would the measure move take you? Just a swag, right? Just kind of looking from the head to the neckline there. I very much within play to go ahead and bring us back down to the range low. Now, if it brings it back to the range low, we're thinking, you know, we might have an opportunity here. So a couple things you can look at here. If we do break out of this, right, you could see something with a little breakout retest, clear to this liquidity, and people might get excited for potentially taking a long position, and I don't blame you. I do understand that. But of course, what are we looking for, right? We're looking for that price action to reestablish the zone after a quick wick down, okay? So we get that wick down, takes the liquidity, and then you see it reestablish the zone, then we start thinking about a long position, right? Right in this area between the POC and the previous day low is where we start kind of looking at that. Problem is, you do have some resistance above you. You got the weekly pivot, and you can see the weekly pivot has been an actionable area for price action. So keep an eye on that. Just understand, as soon as you reestablish, you know, right above that previous day low, the POC, right into the weekly pivot. So that's a little bit tougher in terms of taking that long right there. You may have to wait till you actually break the weekly pivot before you can take it back up to, you know, we'll say man, just the moving average, there's a little confluence between there and the previous day high. So we'll look at that. But the other thing you're going to be looking for is a potential breakout retest to the downside. Now, where that happens is going to be the interesting part. Do we get the breakout retest here and then look for that move down? Or does it actually work its way a little further down to the value area low? And you can see this block of price action right here. Do we work down? We clear that liquidity. Let's go ahead and clear this off real quick. And here we go. All right. Or do we see a breakout retest here where it comes down and then we work down to the low? Now, if you see that, I will get a little bit more excited. And I don't know if I'm going to short it or not. I have to kind of wait to see how this plays out. I want to see what the price action does. What do the candles tell me when we get down to these areas? That's really what I'm going to be looking at. And of course, how do you get that info? Stay in the Discord because we'll probably talk about it. But really what I'm looking for here is the potential long opportunity when we interact with this range low. Okay, so range low, you can see very clear support. We've tested it a couple times. You can see the wicks coming off of that area are very, very strong. There are buyers at the psychological area of 100,000. Okay, they front ran you this time, right? So if you look at this and you actually go and you go to the top here, your low is actually 103.77. Okay, so they front ran 100,000. So why would they front run you at 103 and not at 100? Because retail is probably sitting at 100, right? A lot of people are like, they get these big round numbers. They're like, hey, if Bitcoin goes back to $100,000, I'm going to buy, right? That is what they say. They tell you, they're very verbal about it. They're not going to miss the opportunity to get in at 100K. It's a psychological area. Now, that being said, we do have some liquidity down here, right? Because retail is sitting there and because we had this bounce, this support, now liquidity is going to build up below that area. And it's kind of a 2-for-1 special because you have this area right here. Oh, that didn't actually work. Let's try that again. You have this area right here and this area right here, which means there is going to be a healthy amount of liquidity down here at about 100K, psychological area, yada, yada, yada. I can go on and on about that. But knowing that, what we would like to see is price action to ultimately work its way down. Now, am I saying it's going to go there? Nope, I am not saying that. But if it does, let's go ahead and set an alert. As you can see, I have my alert set right now because if it interacts with this level, I want to be ready to go because what I'm going to be looking for is the same thing that I talked about up here, is that the price action comes down, clears out the liquidity, and then reestablishes itself back over this range low or the previous range low. And really, I guess the range low is now actually at the liquidity level. Let's go ahead and update that. So you're getting a little bit of a zone here in terms of the low, but I do want to leave that liquidity zone alone. So that being said, I'm actually, you know what? It's not that I'm taking it back. I'm just going to move it back because I do want my alert to go off before it actually interacts with the liquidity zone. So, but that being said, you do want to see the price action work its way back up. You want to see a nice little bounce. Look at the wick for comparison. Look at the wick for comparison. If you see something that looks like this, all right, it's likely going to be an entry for me where I take it up at minimum to the value area low. Okay, so what would that look like? Because this is my more, we'll say, high confidence play. All right, let's even say we get into it a little bit late because we're going to wait because we want to see that bullish candle structure. We don't just want to blindly get into it. Let's go ahead and zoom, or not zoom, but move this over right about here. So that gives you a nice healthy 2.65 risk to reward. Okay, so that would go up about 1.91%. So you're going to probably use a little bit of leverage on that. I'd say like 3 to 5% is probably what I'll be looking for. But it probably will be a higher capital play. Okay, so understand that it's up to you on how you play the game. But you know, we're just only looking for a potential of 0.72% to the negative for that 1.91% positive move in terms of the price action. So currently that is kind of like my my setup that I'm waiting for. I'm probably going to be waiting very patiently for that. It could be some time before this develops, but I'll tell you what, what I don't really like besides his head and the shoulder is you now have a descending level of resistance going into a horizontal level of support. All right, we've talked about this many times in the inverse. Remember how many times we saw this as a price action was going up? We saw these nice strong moves to the upside. In this case, it's downside. And then you had that ascending level of support. It's just the inverse. now you have a descending level of resistance. It's just flipping the script, okay? That's all you're doing. And I would say that for me, that would formulate a bias for a little bit of continued price action to the bottom side, or to the, you know, to the negative. All right, so that is kind of what I'm waiting for right now, but you never know, right? Like, so we're gonna go ahead and extend this line out, right? This horizontal level of resistance, because there's two things that we could look at. You know, let's say this area of support holds up, the bulls remain strong. It's okay. It's all is not lost, right? There's so many different ways to get into these opportunities or these trades. And, you know, then we could be looking for a breakout retest of this area of resistance or this trend line, right? Like, I'm not a big breakout guy, but I'm also not against having a little bit of confluence there with a weekly pivot and seeing something where it breaks out, comes down, retest, and look for that continuation up and right. That could very much be in play. Just understand that you're going to run immediately into resistance. So that one's going to be short-lived. That's more kind of a scalp setup that I would be looking for. Not so much, you know, it's not really going to be a swing. This one could be bigger and better. Now this, again, down here, this is where you have options. You definitely have options, okay? You could do the intraday thing, take it up to the val low. That's the safe conservative play. Or, you know, if you do run this up, you know, there's a time too where you could take this and be like, okay, I take my initial entry out at the value area low, and then I see if this thing's gonna run. And you could turn this into a very nice swing trade. All right, so there's so many different ways to attack this and think about a plan going through, but that is going to be up to you. I can only take you to the water. It's up to you if you're going to drink it or not. All right, so that's what we're looking at here, kind of Bitcoin, you know, shorter time frame stuff. Zoom out just a little bit. We still do have a very key level down here that I am really keeping my eye on, okay? 95.2. Now, the thing that you gotta be a little careful with here, right? You have this channel. Now that price action has continued to consolidate and work its way, you know, to the right here, it is changing some of these levels, okay? 95.2 is not that clear-cut line in the sand anymore because the confluence has now started to move up. You got the 200 SMA starting to creep up to the north. You got this channel that's now working its way up. If it were a quicker move to the downside, 95.2 would have been the spot for me, no doubt about it. Now you're developing a little bit of a range. It ain't much, okay? It ain't much. You're still looking at about like 96, you know, 3 or so, 96.2. So you're kind of just getting a little spread there in terms of the range, but you don't have that confluence all just lining up on top of each other. That would really make me a lot more excited about an entry there. But still, here nor there, I do think this level, you are going to see some price action. All right, so that's their top down of Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and get into our first segment, and that is going to be the Daily DGen. Give you guys a little time to vote this time. Usually we're just kind of going straight into it. All right, so the Daily DGen, the name of the show now, for now, we'll see. Depends on how many of you guys actually show up here, but the Daily DGen, I give you guys the opportunity, all right, as the audience, to go ahead and vote whether we're going to go long or short. It looks like you guys right now are short. You're 53% short with 19 votes. Understand, with this, it only has to be in the next 45 minutes. Okay, so you got to take that into consideration. I know the sentiment might be short, but this has to happen in 45 minutes, so you do want to think about that a little bit. But we are going to find a shoop shooba-dooby poop pooba-dooby coin. And you know what I didn't do? I did not post this that I was going live in some of the Discords. I'll have to do that. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. We're gonna find our poop pooba-dooby coin. Fart coin not looking great. I think I just saw someone do a long setup on that, but it looks like you guys are 53% short. We got 5 on it. You know how we roll here. 20x. We're going short because it's a poop pooba-dooby coin. Literally, it's fart coin. All right, so we are 20x short on fart coin right now, and we're gonna see how this plays out. It does look like it's got a little horizontal here, little horizontal level. So this could blow up real quick, or it could be a good thing, right? Because of this horizontal level, if we break that, it may not be ideal because you are way below the 200 SMA and the VWAP. Now, understanding the VWAP here, a lot of times you have a penchant to kind of close the gap. It's just how it works. It always comes back to VWAP in a sense. Currently, you're up 2.35%. That was quick. for the daily degen. So one of the things I'm going to do real quick, you guys are going to have to bear with me, is I am going to make sure I post this in some of the discords. So you guys are going to see that coming down the pipe real quick, especially if you're in Alex's discord. You will be seeing that. So here we go, at Otter Family, and boom, that's in. I think I said I was going live in my own discord. Let's double check that. And let's see, and maybe not. Let's go ahead and post that as well. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. We are in there. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, here we go. Total market cap sitting at 3.24 trillion. That's down 0.28%, still above that magical 3 trillion mark. So all is not lost. Fear and greed index is trending down though. We're at 48. That is neutral. Bitcoin dominance at 64.1%, and Bitcoin currently sitting at 104,000. Ethereum is below. It loves that 2,500 mark. It is just underneath of it right now. You can see it just incremental loss for Bitcoin, and just a very, it's basically neutral. It's basically neutral with both of them. Let's go over to the crypto bubbles. Let's see what's moving. SEI up 10.9%. OKB, I think that's OKX coin, is 10%. And Arrow is up 7.7%. BCH still moving to the positive side. It's been moving pretty nicely. The chart was actually looking all right. I think we were looking at that one yesterday or the day before. Farcoin, I don't know why, is down 9%. AVAX down 2.8, Hype down 5.9, IP down 6.3, still getting waxed. Wonder what's going on with that. I know Piper is not a big fan of the IP, but that is down 6.3%. AB down 5.1%. Everything else kind of status quo here. Nothing too crazy. Oh, Mantle is up 8.1%, so that's a good move for Mantle, but everything else kind of, status quo, just plus or minus a couple percent. Nothing too crazy there. All right, that is that. Speaking of Piper, I ain't seen that man in a minute. Where is it? Where's he been? We're gonna have to get him on. Maybe we'll bring him on the show, let him talk some macro. He is phenomenal at that. All right, that is that. So let's go over to the heat map. We talked about these levels a little bit already. All right, so 103.2, that level remains. That was there yesterday. And then your hotspot to the top side is at 108.4. We had that on the map. But the thing that I really want you to concentrate on, minus that the price action is working its way down towards this liquidity. And look at this. You have liquidity right at 100K. It's not really hot, but this adds to what I was saying. There is liquidity down there. All right, there is liquidity, and the crazy thing is it's not even sub 100. So where I was like, hey, sub 100, if you're basing it off support and resistance, where you got reaction of price action is where you should see this. I mean, this is what's on the blockchain, right? It pulls this every like 15 minutes from Binance, and you can see it's right around 100K. So that actually, might be something that we take into consideration when we do start looking at a potential long position down around those numbers. All right, so back to this. What I was kind of getting at, though, it's getting pretty hot to the downside. Why would we not go take that liquidity? And that's like the big question you have to ask yourself. You can see very clear consolidation with support and resistance. And then, just the liquidity is building up on both sides. But I mean, why not go take this liquidity and then go back up and try to take that top side liquidity? I don't know. It's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do. If I was trying to just suck up all the liquidity out there and beat people into submission, is go take that bottom side liquidity, go take that top side liquidity, shake the market, get everybody flustered, and then let Bitcoin make the move it wants to move, or let Bitcoin make the move it wants to do. All right, so get that liquidity out of here is what I would try to do as the market maker, no doubt about it. Economic calendar, let's look at that real quick. I didn't actually update it. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Why is oh geez. Let's clear this out. It's got all the countries selected. We're just going to use the good old US of A. Here you go. And then let's go ahead and change it to 3 stars. We want the important stuff, right? All right, so Monday, you got existing home sales, durable goods, month over month on Thursday, GDP growth rate. All right, so that one will be important on Thursday. And then Friday, you're going to have core PCE, price index, personal income month over month, and personal spending month over month is what you'll have for next week. So GDP growth rate, though, that's one you'll definitely want to pay attention to. And, you know, personal income and core PCE, definitely some things that can move the market a little bit as well. But I think the big one was yesterday, and we pretty much got... I don't know that I'd call it a nothing burger, honestly, because you got the president that's pushing to cut rates and saying that we're kind of, you know, lagging behind. And we'll talk about that, I think, a little bit more here when we get to the news. Matter of fact, I could probably bring that up now. Let's do it. Let's just do it. That is not it. It's actually going to be, I think, the FUD segment. Let's go ahead and sound the siren. All right, so here we go. This is Trump on Fed Chair Powell. Too late, Jerome Powell is costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars. He is truly one of the dumbest and most destructive people in government, and the Fed board is complicit. Europe has had 10 cuts, we have had none. We should be 2.5 points lower and save billions on all of Biden's short-term debt. We have low inflation. Too late, it's an American disgrace. All right, so I have no idea if YouTube is going to, you know, I'm probably going to send less people my way for calling Chair Powell dumb, but it is what it is, man. That's what's out there right now. And like I said, there's kind of that conflict between the president himself as well as the Fed, right? They're going in two different directions. They are more of like the status quo. Let's kind of see how this plays out. They're very reactive in my mind. They do incremental changes, right? They don't want to shake the market too hard, right? Because they know if they do, you know, make a cut or an increase, whatever the case may be, in this case, really, just doing nothing is actually shaking the market. But if they do make a cut, they also know that that is going to have an impact. But every move that they made has been incremental. It's been 0.25%, right? So, you know, they're very careful in how they do that. I just think it's very reactive. That is the issue. But here nor there, what can you do, right? You can't do much besides go by the numbers, but I do think that there's some very smart people out there that can do some trend analysis. They can also analyze some other countries. What was the implications or what was the ramification? What happened after those countries implemented those cuts? Did it help? Did it hurt? Now, understand with the interest rates being so high that yes, that really does add to the debt. It makes it much harder for the country in terms of paying its own debt. So that is probably what Trump is leaning towards right now, because everybody's like, hey, you're doing all this stuff and all you've done is really add to the debt. Like, the debt is not going down. And I don't know that it ever will. Can we just stop the bleeding? You know, I think is really the hope at this point. You know, I think that's it, man. You can't do anything more than just stop the bleeding. Now, some presidents have just neglected it altogether and said, we're just going to kick this can down the road. We'll let the next guy deal with it. It doesn't seem to be the case this time. But at the same time, like his bill that he did introduce, which I think was the first one, if I remember, yes. Now, this is talking about digital assets and, you know, how it's going to help out. You know, well, to be determined, right? He's been on the digital asset train from Jump Street all the way since he's been at the Bitcoin conference. He actually spoke at the Bitcoin conference. So we knew there was going to be a big push for that. There's a lot of money to be made there. There is no doubt about it. But it also is an argument. Remember, there was a rift between Elon and Trump, and that really stemmed from this bill that was just passed. Okay, so Elon's perspective is it is going to continue to increase the debt, and it really kind of it hurts the progress that he made in his mind, right? He put a lot of time and effort. He let his company suffer, you know, to help out, and really the bill is kind of hampering that effort. So here nor there, that is what's going on in the news today. But I know why you guys are here. Let's go ahead and get back. Let's go to the Daily DGen real quick. Let's see how that's doing. That is pretty much status quo there. All right, 1.76%, 2%. Nothing too crazy here. And let's go back to the charts. All right, back to the charts here. Let's go to USDT dominance. We're going to take a quick look at that. No big update. You're really in the same spot as we were yesterday when we talked about it. I mean, almost exactly the same spot as when we talked about it. But what you can see is the median of this channel is providing resistance. Okay, it is providing resistance. Now, if we are going to go down, this needs to break. If it breaks this channel, then expect that Bitcoin price is going to go down. It's just a matter of how far down is it going to go relative to the move for USDT dominance. And what my expectation would be for USDT dominance is if we break the median of this channel, is that we go up to test the top side of this channel here and the low of the range, right? Think about it. That's kind of what we've seen with price action with a lot of, these tokens with Bitcoin. It likes to come back and test the top of the range because the price action was working its way up. This is inverse, okay? So for it to test the bottom of the range would make a lot of sense from a technical perspective, but that is where we then think about switching our short into a long or closing that short out, A to ace. All right, one of the things you want to pay attention to is this right here, because this may give you that opportunity or that kind of heads up that this is where the fun will end or begin, depending on which way you're trying to play this market. Okay, so keep an eye on that. I definitely would. Total market cap, let's look at that. Again, nothing too much to write home about. All right, pretty much samesies. We were talking about this level right here at about 3.17, a little bit of a range there, but there is a kind of a support area right there that we're kind of dealing with right now for the total market cap. Could be some arguments to be made that maybe this box is a little bit off. Maybe we pull this box up. The reason I did like it though is because you could see very clear support and resistance, but again, we did have the horizontal. We've had this horizontal up for quite some time. That's just a more clear line in the sand, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. I may adjust this. I may just take it off altogether. I don't know. I have to think about that. All good. But anyways, that's what we're dealing with. Okay, so for total market cap, you're kind of getting a squeeze. All right, a little bit of a squeeze here. We did have this trend line that was coming into play, but now there could be some argument that we have this going on, right? We'll take that. Let's take this out. Okay, so it's kind of a legacy trend that we left up, but the thing that you're seeing now is kind of what you're seeing with Bitcoin too, right? So a descending level of resistance for the total market cap, and it could start a squeeze or begin to develop into a squeeze, and you got a horizontal lining up with that. Not ideal. So if you do get a push up, expect a little bit of resistance at 3.32 trillion. But again, getting a little bit of a squeeze, horizontal level of support, descending level of resistance, working its way down. Do we come down and retest the 200, which would actually put you in this little horizontal level of support? We'll see how that plays out. I will say that the more you're testing this area, the less I like it, to be honest with you. So could see a little break. And of course, you can see the 200 has been holding up quite well for the total market cap, but you do have the 3 trillion. This is why I'm kind of remembering why I have this up. 3 trillion psychological area. And you can see what was clearly resistance before we actually broke out and made this move to the top side here. So that's kind of a total market cap in a nutshell. Let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. I know it's closed, but we'll just revisit this real quick. We talked about this yesterday. Nice little opportunity here for a retest of the range highs here, coming back to the left. Would make a lot of sense to see at least a retest. Where will it go? Does it come back up to the high? We shall see. Not trying to make a forecast on that because you're already at the highs. So definitely, it's not something I'd be too excited about taking a trade on, just saying, hey, this is what price action can do. We've already talked about this buy zone at 79.29 or so being an opportunity here. A couple of reasons why. 0.382, you got some you got the moving averages working its way up, the 200. So there is definitely an opportunity here for a long position. Nice little 2-to-1 opportunity, 4.19%. So that's quick and in a hurry for the NASDAQ. Again, that is not open today, so you won't be trading that. Let's go over to the chat real quick. I haven't been looking at the chat all that much, so come up for air, Dan. Coming up for air. See what you guys are still voting, you crazy people. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. 27 votes. You guys are 59% short. I see some laughing emojis in there. I don't know what you guys are up to. All right, I see F-Bomb in the chat. What up to you, man? Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Crypto Squid's in the house. What up, dude? Good to see you. I think I got Kelly Kells already. Yeah, Poo Poo Badooby. You know my song. I sing it every day. Andrew Cameron, what's up to you, G? My man. That's my GM, dude. All set in the house. What up? How you doing? Good to see you. Here we go. Scrolling down. David Brumbelow. What up, bro? Good to see you. Scrolling. Okay, I can hear now. Your age is showing. Uh-oh. Who you talking about? You're probably talking about username. He old. Let's see. Scrolling down. Colin Crypto. Say, yo, what up to you, man? Good to see you, bro. All right, I think I got everybody shouted out here. Oh, nope. Almost Miss B Team Crypto. What up, dude? I had to scroll a little bit more to catch him. All right, I think I got all the shout outs in here. Let's see how the, let's go back. We'll check on the daily degen. Oh, yep. That was the concern. You didn't want to see that actually break through this level right here. So you guys are short right now. Hopefully it hits that area of resistance right there and kind of holds, but it's moving with a little bit of authority. Looking for a rejection right there. Uh-oh, daily degen might be upside down, fam. There it goes. Womp womp. Let's see what it actually did here. Let's not gonna do much TA on it, but I do want to see. If you take the low to the high right there, came right down to the 0.5, got a bounce. Not even sure I would have took that, to be honest with you. I would have liked to see it come down at least, you know, a little bit lower, but I guess there's an argument to be made because of the high there. 0.5 lined up quite nice. Yeah, that thing is going upside down in a hurry for Fartcoin. Is the market moving? Let's see here. Let's go back to Biddy. Oh yeah, it's getting a little bounce. A bit of bounce. I don't even know what I got going on there. All right, let's go. Whoa, man, right off the POC. What, is something going on in the news right now? That's a pretty strong move. Okay, this is where you don't hang on to stuff. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that. So daily degen got upside down real quick. I'm not messing with that one no more. Even though it does look like it's hitting a little area of resistance. That's all right. That's all right. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find a real trade. Because if we get a nice little move up here, I know the hourly showing you the 50 SMA, but if we get a move up to this trend line here, we could take a little degen play. We got to get a couple other things to line up for us, but there might be an opportunity here. All right. Looking here. There was something I wanted to look at. Oh, it's in the 4 hour. Something I was looking at earlier here was the Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. Prime Oscillator Pro Plus, all right? So right now what you're seeing is a True 7 flash, okay? And I was gonna talk about, I forgot to talk about it. The last time we saw the True 7 flash was right here. Nice move up. We saw it right here. Right there on about the 30th of May. Nice move up, right? Percentage moves are actually pretty nice off those flash. That one's about 3%. This one was even better. I'm just taking it from the top of the candle to the close. About an 8% move there. Do we see a repeat of that? I gotta be honest, I am really surprised that they didn't try to go get this liquidity. It's very surprising to me. Let's look on X. I want to see if there's anything going on. Let me know in the chat. Did something just happen? Or is it just moving for the funsies? Let's go Watcher Guru. That's an hour ago. 16 billion login credentials leaked in the world's largest data breach, affecting Apple, Google, Facebook, Telegram, and more. Whew. Well, that's not good. I guess you gotta go change your passwords now. Don't say you didn't know. That sucks. Because don't lie, most of you have all of them. 16 billion. me look at the chat real quick. BC is usually pretty good at this stuff. It's not us, it's the coin. We need a redo. Jesse, no, it is not a winner, bro. That thing got beat up. It's one of those things, you just cut your losses and get out, bro. And you see it popping like that. I probably should have put the stop loss right over that area of resistance. I could see it on the chart, but it is what it is. I was trying to let it run, and then it got upside down pretty quick. So it's one of those things, just get out. Live to fight another day. T-Mobile is paying out a huge amount for the recent hack. BC Poor Corp shilling his affiliate. It's all good. Delete your data from data brokers. All right. You do you, bro. Told you to long it. Yeah. Just straight up calling me old. Damn right. All right. Let's see here. Now I'm like in revenge trade mode for my daily degens. What can we do? We're hunting. We're hunting wabbits. That's weird. The POC shifts when you go between the time frames. When you're on the 4 hour, it's down here. When you're on the 5 minute, it's up there. It's kind of whack. It's gonna keep pushing up. This could be a spot. Let's do a little fib here. Right into the platinum pocket, the 786. Let's look at the 3 minute. Do I not have the VWAP one there? Don't. All good. Let's take off the strategy tester.
Yosef Cohen subscribed to the channel.
Hey, whoever just subscribed, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's go ahead and put on VWAP. All right, turn all the craziness off. Labels, I don't want labels. Oh, this is the other one. That's all right. That's all right. I want the other one. I want the one with the standard deviation. Let me pull that up. There it is. I was wondering, I was like, this looks different. There we go. Nope, nope. Don't want that. Style. Don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want any of that. Just give me the line. And then want this. What color do we want to make that? Green will pop. There we go. That's on the 3 minute. Let's look at the 5. Let's look at the 15. Yeah, so I mean, it's all in about the same area right there. So just keep an eye on this, kind of waiting right now, see if it does push up into this area. I do see a little confluence there between obviously the trend, POC, and I guess that's about it. Well, and the platinum pocket. So there you go. So just seeing if we get that push up. So if we do get the push up, then I'd be a little bit more enticed to look at potentially taking a short. We're gonna try to get some get back here. Whew. See, this is why when you see things move, sometimes it's better just to get out. Look at that, man. I don't know why this is so funky right now. There we go. I mean, Farcoin just exploded. See if I can get rid of that real quick. Remove drawings. Cool. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's got a lot of times when you look at this, man, you'll see that it has a penchant to go back to the VWAP. It's like a magnet. Obviously, VWAP will start to continue to move down towards price action, but price action just has a penchant to return to the VWAP, retest that area. We'll go back. Yep, trying to push back up, trying for a second try here. I just don't know why it's moving. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive move. About $1,000 really quick. About 10 minutes time. Go back to the chat real quick. How does render look for a trade? I am not 100% sure right now. Usually I'm going through some of the other ones, but because we're kind of keeping our eye on the price action right now, I don't want to flip over to the chart. Understand too, guys, if you're looking at this right now, you have about a 45-second delay. Okay, so look at this on your own chart. Look at this on your own exchange right now, so that you're kind of getting the real-time data. I just want to throw that out to you guys. What you see if you're watching me again is delayed. Can you call price out a little bit more? Yeah, okay, currently, so we're on the 3-minute chart. Okay, so we have the POC, that's sitting at about 104.926. You got a platinum pocket at about 104.849 to 109 or 104.969. So a pretty tight group there. You also have a legacy trend line right now that's kind of intersecting that area, adding a little bit of confluence. That comes in at about 104.9. So your spread between the platinum pocket at 786 is 104.850 to about 109.69. So we'll call it 105. So about $150 or so, it seems to be your spread there, in terms of a little bit of range where I think we could see a little bit of resistance. If I'm looking at this, you know, I'd probably put my stop loss right above 105, about 105.50 or so. Again, this is it's a little bit of a degenerate play, right? We're gonna embrace our name here and look at some degen play. So understand that, right? So it's not something that's super conservative, not something that, you know, I would necessarily take when I'm putting in large capital. But if you're going fishing, right, that's what I call it sometimes. Do a little fishing, take low cap, you know, a little bit higher leverage play here. I won't say not too high. But when I say higher leverage, understand I'm talking about 10 to 20. I know some of you guys are crazy and you do 50 and 100, which is just banana land. Sometimes you're just expecting, like, you'll put $5 in and go 100x leverage and say, hey, I get liquidated or I make money. And to each their own, just not my style. So we're kind of waiting right now for the price action. I think maybe we'll have a little bit of time here. Let's do this. I'm going to put an alert on at the POC. Let's do that. So that if it does hit that level, then we can come back. So once per bar close, once per minute. Let's do that. Okay, so we got an alert set right now for the POC. It does look like the 786 is trying to hold up. I know that Alex likes to take the 786 quite a bit, but I'd also like to see, I would prefer to have the moving averages and the VWAP over top of that, but that's just me. Render was the ask. Let's go ahead and look at that. I haven't looked at render in a minute, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit as I kind of work my way through it. I mean, in the short term, like another 3 minute, it looks very similar to Bitcoin. It's kind of riding that channel down, broke out of the channel, didn't even retest, just popped out of that channel. That's why I'm curious if, like, there was anything that was discussed or did something happen in the world that would create a little bit of a move. All right, render. Let's see here. Grand scheme of things, by the way, it wasn't a huge move. It just kind of came in aggressively. Let's see. Render. Right now, it's like you got a nice horizontal at $3.30. Nice little horizontal there. Looks like you got some resistance. I would even make a range of it. Let's go ahead and actually make that range. Only because I see highs with candle closes, and then I see kind of the top where you can really encompass a lot of the support, or not the support, well, yeah, support and resistance, right? In terms of looking at that range. So that goes down to about $3.28. So $3.28 to $3.30. You do have a little range of resistance there. You would like to see that broken. Like if you were looking at potentially taking a long on render, you do have an opportunity to move up, but I would prefer to see us break that area of resistance first. And that's on lower time frames, just so you guys understand that, like super low time frame. Applicable on the 4 hour as well. You can just bring that out a little bit. Let's see what we're looking at, man. It's not looking great for render, to be honest with you. If you go to the 4 hour, you got the 50 working its way down. Let's look and see where things are at for the daily. Yeah, you're way below the 50 and the 200 SMA. Render does not look phenomenal, that's for sure. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Start working our way out. Yeah, you're below a pretty significant line in the sand for me, and that's $3.52 when you're zooming out. You do have a little bit of a range there. This is a tough one, man. It's got some head and shoulder vibe going on. I don't know that I would take a long on render right now, to be reals with you. I mean, I would preferably want to see, like, so when you had this little breakout right here, like that was your opportunity, breakout, and you wanted to see it maintain this level of support at $4.19. You didn't, you lost it. You basically broke down, retest it, and then you look continuation of the downside, and then you lost another level on top of it. So you're down kind of below 2 levels that I wouldn't really feel comfortable. If you're looking at a long-term hold on render, this is not the spot to do it. But let's go back to shorter time frame stuff. If you're going back to shorter time frame stuff, there's always opportunities to be had. So shorter time frame stuff, then you're looking at about $3.31 if you break that area. Get back over, right? Get a little change of character going on, show us a little bit of momentum, right? There could be potential here that you're getting a squeeze to the upside, right? With a horizontal level right there. You can see that marked by the pink box. Little squeeze to the top side. You'd be looking for the breakout. That's something that could be in the cards. And then you would look for that move up. That move up from breaking that area of resistance, breakout retest is what I would look for in terms of taking a long position. That's a 6% move. I mean, that's not too bad for a render here in the short term. But again, you're just long-term holds. You're below some significant levels that I would not be messing with. Again, let's come back to that just real quick, just so I can see what I'm talking about. You do want to get over at minimum $4.19, $4.20, $4.20, of course. Crypto would have it no other way, but you want to get above that, okay? And then you have the 200 working its way down, so that's going to add a little bit of resistance at about $5. So you got a nice little, psychological area of $5, but you do want to get over that. If you get over the 200 SMA, then off and away, and all is not lost, because if you're coming back here, like, you still have this area of support kind of working its way up and right. All is not lost, to be real with you. It's just you just keep dropping below significant levels, and so for that reason, I'm not going to long into an area where I perceive to be resistance. That just doesn't make sense for me. So your two levels we kind of already discussed. Let's go ahead and make these red just so you can see it a little bit more clear right now in terms of what you want to break. So what I would do is just kind of wait for some of these to break, get over top of it, and then you might be able to take a nice little long up to the 200. Just depends on where that's at. That could be a nice little 18% move as well. And then really where you get super bullish, let me take that back. Not super bullish, but where you get a little bit more bullish is get on top of that 200. All right, you get on top of that 200, then you can feel a little bit better about the situation. One of the things I would keep an eye on over the 200 too is, as I'm looking at this a little bit more, I understand I'm doing this live with you guys too, so it's just, you're going to get a dialogue as I kind of see things on the chart. But as you break that 200, then you have this trend on the top side, right? So again, that could be a really nice move. You're then looking at a 60% move. And the weird thing about it is, yes, you're missing everything that you have right here in the interim, and you're like, hey, I could get into it 50% lower. Yeah, you could, but your confidence level of getting over that 200, and then finding this bigger, this nicer, higher probability play is just slim, right? Because, you could break down and kind of lose this area right now. That's it's on the trajectory. That's the trajectory that it's actually on for render. So I would wait, get above this 200, and then we start looking at some of what has it done before over the 200, and it gets very aggressive in terms of the moves when it gets above the 200. Seems to be a tappy place, right? You get some really nice moves over the 200. So it seems to be because, there's not as much capital in render. There is, don't get me wrong, but, when it comes down to it, a 50 to 60% move for render over 200 SMA does not seem to be out of the cards, or appear to be out of the cards, based on the historical moves of the price action. So that's kind of what I'd be looking at. 200 SMA, again, that's the $5 psychological area. You ride that one up to about $8 and some change. That could be a really, really nice play for you on render, but you got to be patient. You're gonna have to wait for it to come to you. All right, coming up on the 11 o'clock time frame. Let's go back here. Let's see what Biddy is doing. Let's go back to the lower time frame. Let's see what we got going on. Oh yeah, nice little rejection off of that, because that's just been a move up, little fake out. Get people excited. Could have shorted the 786, but I did want to see it come up a little bit higher. Actually got to change that color. Change that color. Working its way back down. Yeah, I mean, until we break this trend line, it's hard for me to really look for some real upside. Because you can see, still working its way down. I've had a couple aggressive moves into it and just gets rejected every time. That's going to be tough. I still think my bias is to at least sweep the low and come down and take 103.2, which is the liquidity level. That's still gonna be my bias here. It's too close to the price action, so that's kind of where I'm gonna sit at. Again, you know, previous day low is at 103.5, your liquidity 103.2. Take that liquidity, come back above the previous day low. You know, then you can look at potential quick long up to, you know, maybe the weekly pivot, which is not a big move, but this would be scalping. That would be about a 0.78% move. That's not bad. That'll get you over a 2-to-1. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. Username needs a comeback. Render sucks. Anything that involves Bad Robot or Jar Jar Abrams is going to fail. BC hates render. Scrolling down a little bit more. All right. Let's follow up. Let's see what Tesla did yesterday. Oh, man. Did you hear about Tesla? Or not Tesla, but SpaceX. And I'm sure the stock will correlate to SpaceX, right? So obviously it hasn't had a moment because this closed yesterday. But did you guys hear what happened with SpaceX? Let's see if it actually... There it is. So I guess they were doing a static test for SpaceX, one of the SpaceX Starship, and that thing, poof. So my guess would be, just a guess, a hunch, that we look at Tesla and look at some of these lower levels. Let's see here. Let's go to 4 hour. Got a lot of arrows going on. Descending level of support, kind of talked about that, or resistance. Talked about that a little bit. So yeah, coming back down to the 382. It's kind of something we were looking for, right? Got a nice little, we got a strong horizontal. You got the 200 on the 4 hour. Let's see what we got on the daily. You got the 200 right underneath you, the 0.3. So you got some confluence there. Right there at a 308. You want to see that 308 to 312? Could be a nice little spot to see the price action come back to, especially on some negative news with SpaceX. Could be an opportunity. Higher probability zone, or at least a higher confidence play, would probably be around the golden pocket here, as well as this little zone. So that's sitting at about 272 to 265 is where I would look for some price action. But short-term play, I don't know. Might have to be careful, just because negative news, things can move quite aggressively. We'll see how that opens, and then kind of go from there. So look for that tomorrow when the market opens to see how that kind of reacts. All right, let's look at ETH real quick. Have we looked? I don't think we looked at ETH yet. We got tied into the Bitcoin. Still sitting at about 25. No surprises there. All right, so we were talking about potentially taking this long right here. I did take a long based off of this. I wanted to take it up to the value area high, which I think is still probable, still in play, to be real with you. Value area high, at least up to the 200. But, you know, in terms of me seeing the entry I wanted, I've already taken it. and I've already gotten out, and we've talked about why that was. We had some news come out why I was in the trade, and we got up to the previous day low in conjunction with there being negative news at the same time. So I closed both my trades. I was in ETH and I was in Bitcoin, but this was a really key level for me to see a bounce. And Triton, I mean, it's holding up. It's holding up true. There's no doubt about it. 2484 was where that area of liquidity was sitting. We did clear that liquidity. We did reestablish the zone. And, you know, we kind of went through that whole process there. But I ended up getting out, I believe, it right around the POC of the range. So there was a lot of things that kind of lined up at the same time for me when I was in that trade. It was still like a 20% banger. There's, you know, nothing to be mad about there. But that for now is kind of off the table for me. Let's actually go to ETH. Let's see if any liquidity has built back up. And it is. But more to the top side here on the 3-day. 2552. But you are getting liquidity building up here again. So we were at 2584 was where it was at. Now you're getting at about 2460 or so and on down. But look how hot it is up here to the top side. So that's really 2552 up to about 26.2. That's not a lot, to be honest with you. 2552. It's a little bit higher than the POC. Oh, that makes perfect sense. I'm telling you, when you get these hits of resistance or support, right? And you get it, look at that, man. There's no doubt about why liquidity is building up right here. So you have liquidity here. That's ripe for the taking. Interesting. I know you got a bigger liquidity zone up here, but I'm gonna move this down here for now. 25, we said 52. I mean, it's almost to the T. Look at it. So resistance, resistance, resistance. I talk about that all the time. When you get continuously see resistance or support in one little spot, your liquidity is going to build up. People are putting their stop losses there. They're taking those leverage short positions, driving it down, and then that really becomes an opportunity for the maker to push up and take this liquidity. Interesting. Problem is, you don't have a lot of room to run. You take that liquidity, then what happens? Smack right into the 200. What is painting my candles right now? Ah, the VWAP. Stop that. I do not want any of that. Go away. No, 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 no. I want none of it. All I want is the VWAP. And you guys want to say hello to the little lady? A cameo from Firefly. Want to say what's up?
Hi.
So, we've talked about this before. When you bump your little head, right here on this line right here, this purple one, all right, that's the POC. Come here, my friend. Come a little lower. There you go. You're in the screen now. All right, when you hit your head right here, what is that called? Do you remember?
Resistance.
Resistance, that's right. All right, so the resistance is showing us where the liquidity is. We could have an opportunity here, at least for Ethereum, to push up, clear out that liquidity. It could actually set you up for a short. So if we think that Bitcoin's going to continue to work its way down, which that opportunity or that probability is still there based on the charts, would not be surprising to see Ethereum come up, clear out this liquidity, and come back down into the range, and then set yourself up for a short. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. What do we got going on? He's just generous today. Yeah, I'm being nice. Going through the chat real quick here. Give me another Tesla pullback. People are saying hello to you in the chat. All right. Do you remember what if we come down here and we bounce like a trampoline? Do you remember what that is?
Support.
Support. Nailed it. All right. Saying Firefly knows best. You guys should follow her. She might know the charts better than some of the other content creators on here. At least she's got support and resistance nailed. All right, let's see here. I think I'm gonna get off. I think my lady has spoken. She is here. I think she wants some attention. That's probably why she's here right now. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope everyone enjoyed today's show. We did talk about some key levels for Bitcoin, Tesla, Ethereum. There are many opportunities out there. Not something I could actually take a trade on though. I think we were really close. We were close on Bitcoin, but I wanted to go up just a little bit more there and find some of that confluence before actually entering into the trade. I want to see how it actually interacted with that trend line there. So again, there's opportunities. There are opportunities. Come on over to the Discord. Get some of those trade setups. Our guys are dropping some fire signals in there. Of course, support the old crypto link there. What is this? The boring Bitcoin. Oh gosh, boring collectibles. Good lord, boring collectibles, man. This right here is pretty fire. Again, give you opportunity for some cold storage. That link for you is in the description. Save 10%. Of course, ChartPrime 35% on the first month. And if you get over into our premium side, I'll save you 20% on your futures trading for Bitunix. Other than that, you can use the standard one. That's 10%. That is in the description as well as the chat. Much love to you guys. Hope everyone has a great day. I'm gonna get out of here. Much love to you. As always, trade safe, be safe, and I'm out.
Bye.
And goodbye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go,
right.
go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.